Yes. In other words, as I said, and this is kind of a fun subject because as you define it, people better understand. So yes, there are people that astronauts. There was a movie called The Right Stuff. I really liked it. I saw it several times, and this was the old test pilots, and eventually NASA opened up the astronaut program, and the movie was called The Right Stuff, and these men risked their lives, and now they became the fastest men in the world, which they really like. That's a particular courage. I would say I don't have the. I would say realistically, unless I train myself, I don't have the courage for that because that's kind of scary, and I don't want to be in this little capsule. And so I see real courage as, I've said it before, you can take the strongest man in the world, you take Arnold or anybody else in the physical sense, and will they step up and share this? Will they step up and share something real? Because again, for the most part, they won't because they cannot see it. You've got to see it first. You've got to, in some way, start to see it and understand it. People will read the books and they'll go, okay, this, a lot of this makes sense and whatever. But you see, they've got that personal self in there that they've known for so long. And so to really even more so make sense of their own life, do they have the courage? Do they have the real courage to step up and do something about it? Well, most people don't. They would rather be bought off by themselves or others. That seems to be the easier route, and it coincides with what else everyone else is doing. So it all seems to make sense in a one-dimensional meaner, and that's as far as it goes. Ours is multidimensional into endlessness. And so that's where real courage comes in. In other words, it's not about anything in the physical sense. It's about the individual discovering their real awareness and then taking on the courage to present it because, and this is where most people won't, because they know within themselves, number one, the journey is going to be scary. Number two, it doesn't fit along with their social status. And number three, what will other people think about them? So they've got a lot to consider. So that's scary to them. So that demonstrates that they don't have real courage, but they do have a type of courage they can display to the world and do tricks and all these things like that. And the world will buy it and think that they're wonderful. But their tricks and their performances and their entertainment or whatever people do, high wire act or, riding the unicycle and flipping 12 plates at the same time and all these things looks really cool. But kicking goals in soccer from, the top of the stadium, what have you, it all looks really cool and people applaud. But, that only lasts for a moment. And then everybody goes home, it's gone, and you got nothing. Okay, so now you got to get ready for the next performance to thrill the masses and yourself, etc. But with this is self-sustaining, but it takes real courage to do it, to step up and figure it out. And I look at all of you that have stepped up here. See, you're developing your real courage, which is so cool, and this is so very important. And you see also that it makes sense. That's the best part of it. So you're wanting to make sense of your life. You're wanting to do it. I want to make sense of my life. I don't want to live a senseless life like most people do, thinking that they're okay because they're thinking it, one-dimensional thinking, and not seeing really where they're going, that they're totally controlled by the system and thinking that it's okay. Fine. Again, they have that right. Everybody does. And these are not criticisms, these are observations. There's a difference. So each one of us is figuring our way through creation, or we don't. And so for the most part, the unaware masses, they're not interested in figuring their way through creation. They're only interested in what creation can provide and what they can get from it and what they can create in creation. Fine, you have a right to do that. And so you're always cause and effect. You're always the effect. But as we take on the real courage and we do this, well, the real guys in the business life is all of a sudden we became like the kids where they change our diapers. So these other people out there, they've got stacks of diapers and they're clogging the system. They got to deal with it. Well, us, the boys, take our diapers, you might say, on the real side, and they get rid of them. So they clear the way for us because this is what life's all about. When you decide to, have the real courage to step up and be part of this, well, life steps in and supports you. You see, there becomes the difference. But who can see that? Yes, there is a real difference between so-called courage in the world and people going out there and fighting battles and war and whatever. And you can think, oh, they get all these medals and whatever. Well, that's fine. Everybody earns and deserves what they get. And if that's what you want, go for it. And so I just kind of walk right around that. And that doesn't make sense. I would say and this is more fun anyhow. Why put yourself in a situation, especially if you're in the military or something, especially you're just working for the cabal. So, and they build that and they market that up into something that's not that you have courage. This is like the United States, home of the brave, land of the free. There's no such thing. See, again, what people are trying to hold up does not exist. It does in their minds, and for a moment you get a thrill out of it, or a conversation, or maybe even a date, with somebody, whatever it equals. But then that's it, and it always turns sour. But with us, it doesn't. It gets better and better and better because we become more aware because we're taking the real courage to do so.